On the news, Senate Chief Whip Senator Orji Uzor proposes Muslim presidential ticket for the APC. Opposition party PDP screens Atiku's running mate on Thursday. And abductors of Zamfara wedding guests demand 145 million naira ransom. We're glad to have you join us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. The Chief Whip of the Senate, Orji Kalu, has said a Muslim ticket will guarantee victory for the ruling All Progressives Congress APC at the polls in 2023. Kalu, while speaking to newsmen at the National Assembly in Abuja, says he believes the ruling party may lose the election if it fails to go for the option of a Muslim presidential ticket, considering the present situation it has found itself. According to Kalu, the priority of the ruling party should be winning the presidential election in 2023 and not the religious and ethnic affiliation of its vice presidential candidate.
If I am enamored Bola Tinubu's situation, the wife is a senior pastor in a Pentecostal church, I will go Muslim ticket. The most important thing is for the party to win. It's not, we should stop all this rubbish about whether you put a Christian there. After all, if we win, already the wife is a pastor. They have been living for over 40, 50 something years together. I've known them this far. So why do you want to blame about, she's already like a deputy president. If I'm to say, I'm a Catholic. I'm saying my opinion. This is Orji Kalu's opinion. You cannot deny me my opinion. But you can also play Christian ticket, depending on the scenario. Because if we don't play Muslim, we're in trouble. We will not win it will be most difficult to win the election. Because the only thing left for Ahmed Tinubu today is to play Muslim. I know that the church I go to, the Catholic secretary might condemn it, so it's not good to. What is wrong with Muslim ticket? I don't see anything. In my eye, there's nothing wrong in Christian ticket. Also, it depends on the condition. The condition we found ourselves today, that you cannot play two minorities. Tinubu is a minority Muslim from the south, and if you put a Christian from the north, it's a minority Christian from the north. You cannot play two minorities.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has set up a committee to screen its vice presidential candidate for the 2023 general elections. According to the party's spokesperson, Debo Ologwangba, members of the vice presidential candidate screening committee were nominated by the PDP National Working Committee. Ologwangba explained that the NWC constituted the committee in line with the electoral guidelines of the main opposition party. He added that the screening exercise would hold by 10 a.m. on Thursday inside the NWC hall of the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja, the nation's capital. With just 2 days to the expiration of the June 17 deadline given by INEC to political parties to submit names of presidential and vice presidential candidates, pressure mounts more than ever. While the likes of Governor Nasir El-Rufai, Abubakar Badaru are in contention for the VP slot of the ruling APC, those in line for the PDP's vice presidential slot include Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State and former Senate President Ken Nnamani. But beyond this, what will inform these major parties' selection of a running mate? To discuss this further, I'm now being joined by Liberos Oshoma, who is a public affairs analyst and a legal practitioner. Thank you very much for joining us as always. Let's begin with the APC. Political watchers and stakeholders are leaning towards a Muslim ticket for the APC. But how critical is this strategy to the aspiration of the ruling party to retain power in the forthcoming polls?
Thank you, Folashade. First and foremost, politicians will always do their thing. Whatever will make them win, it is left for the people to now decide what they want to do, whether to vote in that candidate or not. So for the politicians, they feel that their influence is not strong enough when it comes to religion, and that if it is not, you have a lot of liberal Christians and Muslims in the South, but in the North, Islam is much more stronger in the North, and it is always played with politics in the North than in the South. And so what the politicians are saying now is that unlike what happened in the South, where a hitherto unknown Oshibanjo was nominated by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and then the party in the South threw their weight behind him, campaigned about his competence. In the North, that the politicians will not be able to do that. Once the person is from the minority, they will not be able to tell him. That is what they are saying. But the question would be, if this were a Christian ticket, will the politicians today who are talking about competence, who are talking about the fact that it's all about winning election, will they still insist that we should talk about competence? The answer is no. They will tell you that Christianity is a minority religion in the North. And so if they feed a Christian candidate from the North, they will still not win a religion, the vote of the Northern majority. Assuming that you have a Christian, candidate from the South. Take, for example, the greatest damage that a Peter Obi, for example, can do to himself, being a Christian from the South, is to take a Christian from the North. The same people that are talking about religion today, they're talking about competence, will be the first to tell him that he will not win election because of partly that he's seen as a Christian agenda. So all of these ordinarily ought not to have been issues if truly we are playing politics as it should be played. But unfortunately, the antecedent of the present government, coupled with the event that played out in the dying days of Goodluck Jonathan's administration, has contributed largely and made religion, elevated religion, to the national discourse in as far as election is concerned. And people are now beginning to ask if the killings
PDP has assured that Atiku's running mate will be announced by Thursday. What strategy do you think will be adopted by the opposition?
Yeah, I have I've listened to previous videos by Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State saying that he wasn't in the race to campaign for the vice presidential slot, but haven't been defeated in the primaries. I think the best bet for them would be Wike enjoys the larger support of the people, having been a voice for seemingly voice for, the oppressed against the antics and the high-handedness of this government, even though he also has some, high-handed elements or behavior in him. So he enjoys massive support in the South, also coupled with the fact that he has performed. Every other person in the South, and then also he has he has a deep pocket. Every other candidate from the South will not match, Governor Nyesom Wike in considering, the issue of a competent and a running mate who is competent, who is capable, and who will be able to win vote. Because what the politicians are basically telling you now is all about winning vote. Wike has a support base in the South massively. And because this election, the South might be the deciding factor in the election, because now you have a Peter Obi, from the Southeast, who is gathering support by the day. You have Atiku from the North, and then you have Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the Southwest. All of these three candidates are very strong in the region where they are from. And so the South, and the middle belt might be the deciding force. And so if you pick a candidate like Wike, of the PDP from the South, who also enjoys the support and has a deep pocket from that region, I know they will be able to go far and put the South, comfortably in their kitty.
Well, indeed,
But it should be changed
Oshoma, but I guess
subsequently.
we still need to wait till the 17th to know what these parties will decide on. But it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you very much for your contribution. Well, all eyes are now on Ekiti as candidates across political parties have signed a peace accord ahead of the governorship election scheduled for Saturday. The candidates signed the peace pact at an event organized by the National Peace Committee in Ekiti on Wednesday afternoon. Speaking to journalists, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, Bishop Matthew Kuka, advised the people of Ekiti to exercise their franchise. He further urged Nigerians to imbibe the culture of holding elected leaders accountable in order to deliver their promises while in office.
Not necessarily by themselves define what political outcomes will be. And I think this is something Nigerians have not taken seriously. We have allowed our political class to get away with murder. That is that we sweat, we are in the sun, we are in the rain, okay? People die to make this happen. And then the biggest mistake Nigerians make is to just hope for the best. So essentially, I think one of the major things that Nigerians must now be encouraged to do is to use the enthusiasm that is leading them to the polling booth to continue to sustain engagement, a sustain, even if you like, confrontation with the people that we have elected to ensure, to insist, to persist that they keep to their promises. And if and when they don't keep to those promises, there are consequences which the law has already provided them. And it includes embarrassing politicians. We must learn to find our way to government house by protest. We can commend them when they do well, but also tell them when we are not happy with the things that they are doing.
To boost education at the nation's primary level, the Federal Executive Council (FEC) has given approval for the provision of satellite-based education systems for 109 e-learning centers across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, while briefing State House correspondents on the outcome of the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. More details in this report. E-learning in Nigeria is set to receive a boost as the federal government has approved the sum of 964 million naira for the provision of satellite-based education system for 109 e-learning centers across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Speaking on behalf of the Ministry of Education, the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, explained that the project is to provide remote education platforms for 4,360 learners across the country. He further explained that the facility would focus on pupils in primary school level.
Provide each senatorial district in the country with e-learning provision. Each state has 3 senatorial districts, and the Federal Capital Territory has 1 senatorial district. That makes it 109. And it means the scope of the project is the provision of a satellite-based education system for about 4,360 users in the 109 senatorial district, and it will include installation of 109 receiver satellite unit modem and antenna in 3 schools in each state.
Also, the Minister of Information disclosed that 12 airport towers in Nigeria are set to receive an upgrade which will cost a total of 9.9 billion naira.
The existing control tower facilities currently in use in the 12 airports are aged and obsolete in some cases. Hence, the urgent need to upgrade the facilities to enhance their capabilities for better performance in conformity with technological advancement and industry-based practices.
On his part, the Minister of Interior, Ralph Aregbesola, disclosed that Council approved the repeal of the Fire Service Act and the enactment of the Federal Fire and Rescue Service Establishment Act of 2022. He explained that while the bill will be transmitted to the National Assembly for review, The bill, when passed into law, would help upgrade the operations of the Federal Fire Service.
It's meant to bring into currency the operations and professionalism of the Federal Fire Service in its delivery of service to Nigerians and establishments in Nigeria as it is expected.
Also giving a brief, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, said Council approved the rehabilitation of the 91.94-kilometer Kashimbila-Takun-Chachagi Road in Taraba State, which will cost a total of 66.983 billion naira. Folashade Ogrinde, TV360 News. The gunmen were abducted guests returning from a wedding ceremony last Saturday in Sokoto State and demanded a sum of 145 million naira as ransom. Secretary General of the Phone Sellers Association in the state, Nasiru Musa, who spoke to newsmen, explained that the kidnappers placed a 5 million naira ransom on each of the victims and are threatening not to release them. He further revealed that 7 of the victims were rescued by members of the local vigilante group, while 29 remain in captivity. Meanwhile, the Zamfara state government says it has been making efforts to rescue the victims or not. I will take a break here, but still to come, Nigeria's inflation rate reaches 11-month high, hit 17.71%. Details of this story and more right after this break.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. The Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Orji Kalu, has proposed a Muslim ticket as a critical factor for the All Progressives Congress, APC, to win the presidential election in 2023. Senator Kalu, while speaking to newsmen at the National Assembly in Abuja, says he believes the ruling party may lose the election if it fails to go for the option of a Muslim presidential ticket, considering the present situation the party has found itself. We also told you that the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has set up a committee to screen its vice presidential candidate for the 2023 general elections. According to the party's spokesperson, Debo Ologwagba, members of the vice presidential candidate screening committee were nominated by the party's National Working Committee. He added that the screening exercise would hold by 10 a.m. on Thursday inside the NWC Hall at the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine may pose a higher risk of heart inflammation in some age groups than Pfizer-BioNTech's shot, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has revealed. Citing recent data, the agency have said types of heart inflammation linked to both the mRNA shots were not consistent across all of the U.S. vaccine safety monitoring systems. The CDC's analysis comes as the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's advisors met on Tuesday to discuss the authorization of Moderna's vaccine for children and teens aged 6 to 17. Well, we'll take another breather and return with more stories and business. To stay with us.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places, the Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Simisala Adigun joins us now for more stories and business. Over to you, Simi.
Thank you, Falashade. Welcome to business. Latest report released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has indicated that Nigeria's inflation rate hit 17.71% in May on a year-on-year basis, the highest level in 11 months. According to the NBS report, increases were recorded in all classifications of individual consumption by purpose divisions that yielded the headline index. The report revealed that the composite food index rose to 19.50% in May 2022 on a year-on-year basis, but declined by 2.78% compared to 22.28% in May 2021. It added that the hike in the price of bread and cereals, yam, fish, meat, oil, and other food products contributed to the rise in the food index. We'll go on a short break here and be back with stock market reports. The Nigerian Stock Exchange continues in the negative territory on Wednesday due to sell-offs in specific counters. The equities market furthered its southward journey on Wednesday by 0.64% amid the absence of a major catalyst that could spur buy sentiment. At the close of trading session on Wednesday, the all-share index and market capitalization decreased by 52.775040 basis points and 28.5 trillion naira. On the losers list, Mayor and Link Assurance lead the list, setting the market's loss by 3 naira. Triple J PLC and Learn Africa lead the gainers group with a total of 3 naira 45 kobo. In 4,890 deals, investors exchanged 188 million volume of shares valued at 2.363 billion naira. Global stocks closed higher on Wednesday as investors watched monetary policy moves from several major central banks. This positive sentiment is evident in the UK's FTSE and the US Dow Jones, which closed at 1.20% and 0.58% respectively. Unfortunately, Japan's stocks Nikkei closed lower at 1.14%. That's all on stock. Back to you, Folashade.
Many thanks, Simi. And on the foreign scene, the European Union, Israel and Egypt have signed a tripartite natural gas export deal as the bloc seeks to diversify away from Russian energy. According to the Israeli Energy Ministry, the deal, which has been in the works since March, will enable Israel to streamline and increase the export of its natural gas through already existing pipelines to Egyptian ports, where it can be pressurized and liquefied, then transported to Europe. In recent weeks, Israel had promised to accelerate its gas output as demand grew and prices soared. Israel, in collaboration with other Middle Eastern countries, is looking to sell to Europe, previously the largest client of Russian energy. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Nollywood actress Adame has revealed that she is battling mental health issues. The actress made this known on her Instagram page on Wednesday. Adame also lamented that she has been sued over her inability to deliver on a job and that the company, for lack of understanding of what she is going through, had filed a lawsuit against her. She said the issue is gradually taking her life, but she believes that she will not die and will get over it eventually. Adame lost her only child in October 2020 after a surgery in Abuja. Nigerian singer Wande Cole and his entourage have been accused of mercilessly beating up a young man because his vehicle was in their way on Tuesday. The singer was dragged on Twitter by the victim's sibling, who said his elder brother had called him sobbing like a child after being assaulted. The angry sibling said that his brother had obliged their request to move his car, but as soon as he approached it to open, one of the men slapped him while another delivered a punch before he could say or do anything. The pained man, who described his brother as a gentle person, said he will not intentionally do anything to have deserved such treatment. Wande Cole has, however, not responded to the accusation. And that's all there is on the entertainment segment of News Now.
Away from entertainment now to sports, Spanish football league La Liga has confirmed that it has filed complaints to UEFA about Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City continuously breaching the current regulations of financial fair play. In a statement from the league, legal firms in France and Switzerland have been hired with the aim of undertaking administrative and judicial actions before the relevant French bodies and the European Union as soon as possible. La Liga said that direct injections of money or through sponsorship contracts and other types do not correspond with market conditions, thereby assuming the responsibility of defending financial fair play and sustainable football in Europe. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.